The time to build a house varies inversely with the square root of the number of people working. If 16 people can build a house in 100 days, then how long would it take 64 people to build the same house? Okay, so the idea here is we're going to take this word problem, convert it into numbers, and then solve. So what this seems to be saying is the time, I'm going to say time to build a house is equal to, it says, so the square root, or actually the people, and it's the inverse square root. So I'm going to assume that means over 1. So it's basically divided by. And it says it varies by that. And this is just going to be an assumption. The problem could be more clear, but I'm going to assume that it varies linearly. It's proportional to. Is proportional to. Proportional to and varies linearly are the same idea. So I'm going to put an alpha right here. So you'll see what I'm doing in a second. So I'm going to rewrite this. So time to build, a little l, equals alpha over square root of x. That's what that -1 exponent means. It means inverse, putting it on the bottom. So then what we want to do is we want to solve for this alpha. So x is the number of people, t is the time to build, and alpha is just some constant. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the first piece of data they gave us, which was 16 people in 100 days. So 100 days equals alpha over square root of 16 people. So it's going to be the same as alpha over 4. Therefore, alpha equals 400. Yep. And we'll take the positive root of square root of 16. We're going to assume it's not -4. All right, so now that we know what our constant alpha is, we can plug that back in and solve. So the time to build, yep, you're right. I should change colors. Change colors. Oh, purple. Time to build, T build, is going to equal 400 over square root of x. We're now given 64 people, so this is going to be equal to 400 over the square root of 64. Square root of 64 is 8, so we have 400 divided by 8, which is going to be 50. So it'll take 50 days to build the same house with 64 people. So that kind of makes sense, because you have 4 times as many people, but instead of building it 4 times as fast, you build it the square root of 4 times as fast, which is 2. So you go from 100 to 2. So this is how I would approach this problem. It's all about writing it out. Square root, that means square root. Inverse, at least in this case, I think it means -1 exponent, which means putting it on the bottom in the denominator. And then we had a constant that we multiplied it by. This varies. We assume it varies proportionally. Therefore, we had to find this constant, and we found that constant using our initial data. So, hope that helped. See you next time.